Ed Boon is a very respected person. He created the Mortal Kombat series, which is enjoyed by a lot of gamers to this day, myself included, and I respect him too. However, unfortunately, he recently delivered some very bad news. But keep in mind, he's just the messenger. I don't think he was in control of this decision. But nevertheless, this news was downright soul-crushing, and it broke every Mortal Kombat fan's heart. Because today's news has to do with Mileena, a very popular character in the series. I would say she's top 5 at this point. And Mileena has become popular for 2 very big reasons: her disgusting teeth, and she's hot. Those are the 2 main reasons. Yeah, I caught you. Haha, you thought I was gonna make a boob joke, didn't you? Nah, I'm better than that. But yeah, Mileena is the literal embodiment of Beauty and Beast, the personification of mature content. You can't show Mileena to little kids, and that's why she fits so well in Mortal Kombat, adults only. And the Mortal Kombat creators knew this, which is why in every single game, her outfits got increasingly revealing, to the point where it got a bit absurd. It never reached Soul Calibur Ivy level, thankfully, but it got pretty far. But once again, it was all intentional, and the developers were self-aware. That's why she appeared in a Playboy magazine. Yeah, I'm not making that up, you can Google it. Mileena, a video game character, was straight up in an adult magazine. Man, I miss when games were counterculture. Don't you all miss that too? Because nowadays it's the opposite. They're all conforming and afraid of getting dragged online by journalists and angry groups of people. I miss it, man. I miss the counterculture. Anyway, without any further ado, here is the bad news. I'm gonna rip the band-aid right off. During one of Ed Boon's most recent Q&A sessions, Joe asked this: can you give Mileena her deception costume from Mortal Kombat 12? This costume is iconic. It's not the one that appeared in the magazine, but it is one of the most beloved costumes for Mileena. And on top of that, Ed Boon has said that Deception is his favorite Mortal Kombat game. And even so, here was his response: not likely. Period. That period is what hits me really hard. I don't know why. Now, once again, I have to make this clear. Do not hate on Ed Boon. I highly doubt he's the one who made this decision. But the Mortal Kombat community is devastated, and look no further than the quote tweets. I'm not joking when I tell you 90% of the quote tweets are negative. They are very sad to hear this news. And that wouldn't be shocking, except it's Twitter. Twitter tends to be the people who go after, you know, sexy video game characters or sexy anime characters, all that stuff. They get offended by everything. And even Twitter is outraged that Mileena is denied her sexual expression in Mortal Kombat 12. And once again, that's because it's half her character. She has the ugly face and she has the hot bod. If you take away the hot bod, you've cut the character in half. But anyway, I'm rambling. Let's have a look at the quote tweets. First up, we have Lord Raiden, who says, I was hoping for Mileena to get her MKD attire. So a pretty nice response, right? Nothing too angry yet. Next up, we have Rebellious, because of some stupid policy, right? He had a curse word there. I'm gonna go ahead and censor that. And the answer is yeah. I bet most likely there is some weird policy saying that the females can't be super revealing anymore in the games, despite the men being revealing. I've already made a whole video on that topic. In fact, I've made 2 if you want to check them out right here on screen. Is this video the 3rd installment? Could this be the finale to my epic trilogy? Next up, we have Striker of the Rebel Moon, who says, are you serious? With the question mark. Yeah, unfortunately, they probably are serious. Next up, we have June Astrology, who says, honestly, I don't even mind if the Deception skin never returns, but at least make Mileena's new outfit slay, with the heartbroken. And yes, this is how I feel. This is my exact sentiment. We don't need a copy and paste of the Mortal Kombat Deception skin. However, Mileena does need to be the fashion icon once again. Don't just make her a generic frumpy character wrapped in cloth. MK11's design is so blah that I can't even describe to you why it's boring, but it just is. Look at it. Oh no, then we got my boy Witch, who is in complete denial. He meant the original Deception skin, guys, is not gonna come back. It could be a remake, it could be some sort of redesign in the future though, dude. Keep on coping, buddy, keep on coping. I'm with you though. I hope it happens. I do hope that happens, but you are snuffing some massive copium right now. Then we have Sonya Blade, who says, WTF? Dude, even Sonya Blade is like, bring it back the sexy outfits for Mileena. It's half her character. Uh-oh, we got more copium from Ayame, who says, y'all, he said this because someone asked the skin to be an 11. No, he did not. He said 12, specifically 12. Stop gaslighting. Then we have Ed Napier, who says, oh, come on, Ed. Maybe not the exact same costume, but this design was fire. I don't dislike the redesign for Mortal Kombat X. This was for Mortal Kombat X, by the way. It was in the concept art, but it just never made it into the game. And I can only imagine that was due to time restraints, because this costume does look really, really good. And then on top of that, Mileena has 2 costumes that are the same, but like her hairstyle just changes and she gets a crown, and that's all that changes. So I definitely do think they ran out of time, and this was meant to be her original 3rd costume, possibly even her story costume when she's the Khan. It looks good. Next up, we have HH Wings, who says, a big oof for Mileena fans. A big oof indeed. Very big oof. Mileena fans are hurting right now, but honestly, all the Mortal Kombat fans should be scared, because if this trend keeps going, everyone's gonna look really boring and generic. Next up, we have Trish Y2K, a woman, so keep that in mind. She says, we're never getting our sexy girls back, just grandma outfits for life. Oh man, that is savage. I don't think the MK ladies look like grandmas, but I do think the Katana looks like a Power Ranger. Something about being covered head to toe in like this weird rubbery latex kind of material just gives me a Power Rangers vibe. Oh, but hey, look at this. We have one person who's actually okay with this decision and is against everyone's outrage. Let's look at this. Darius says, you would think the Mortal Kombat community were not some big crybabies, but this shows they are. That's pretty ironic when you have Juri from Street Fighter 6 in your profile pic. Yeah, I'm just gonna stare for a bit because this is how she looks in Street Fighter 6 and that's her profile pic. And you know what, just to make this all easier to read, I'm gonna put you all right here. Okay, I'm sorry about moving you, but I just can't read some of these tweets. This next one's an absolute paragraph. But honestly, they hit the nail on the head. This comes from Arch. Wow, the MK creator afraid of what some Puritan game journos will say and rejects one of the coolest Mileena outfits back when MK was MK. And provocative? How far have we fallen? I bet this new game will have the lame modern audience shtick. A game aimed at the Twitter bubble. Well, the Twitter bubble has actually changed quite a lot since Elon Musk took over. It's become fun again. Everyone's just yelling at each other and saying different perspectives. It's interesting. I'm not saying I like animosity. I don't want people to be mean to each other, but it's interesting to see how Twitter is finally having different perspectives on topics now. It used to only be one side of the aisle, and now it's everybody talking, which is cool. But yeah, the modern audience virus is very real, and every gamer should be scared of it. Every fan of anything should be scared when someone says modern audience, because what that means is they're ignoring the existing fan base and appealing to the normies. But the thing is, even normies like the content that fans like usually. So what it actually means when creators say the term modern audience is we're going to change whatever we want and then lie about why we're changing it. There is no huge audience of potential players that don't buy Mortal Kombat because the characters are sexy. They don't exist. Yes, you will find some people who are upset at the sexy costumes, but they cannot convince me they've been fans because the series has been sexy for like 2 decades. And as a result, I refuse to believe there's someone who actively bought the games because you could not play the games without seeing the sex appeal. It was always in front of your face because the game was made for adults. The sheer notion that there's this huge group of people in the Mortal Kombat fan base who actively hate the sexy outfits is like saying there's a huge group of people that hate the violence in Mortal Kombat. It just doesn't exist. You can't be a huge fan of Mortal Kombat and be against violence. It's not possible. You can't hate the gore and still play the series all the time. And it's the same thing with the costume designs. You cannot have been a fan for all these years of Mortal Kombat and always hated the costumes. It's impossible. You would have to be such an extreme masochist for that to be the case. Yes, I love this series, but every time I play the game, I love the game so much, so I gotta keep playing, but Katana, why do you dress that way? I love playing as your character, but I can't look at the screen, I can't see it. Okay, I'm gonna stop, let's keep reading. What is this username? I can't even read this. It's a face with hearts for eyes and they're dripping blood, I guess. But anyway, she says, stop the production of the next MK game, we don't want it anymore. That's not true, but we are upset, make no mistake. Next up, we have Barbie Electra with the trans flag in their bio, so you know this person's progressive. And even they're saying, for God's sake, bring back Mileena's sex appeal. It's literally part of her character. Yeah, it's like half of her character, in fact. And then we have Edu Queve, who says, OMG WTF, this makes absolutely no sense. And then it somehow explains MK11 Mileena's costumes. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, most of her costumes were pretty bad, but then makes me so confused about MKX's costumes like Vampire Mileena, and I'm just left wondering why. Why, Ed? This is such an L for fans, I can't even. Heartbroken. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much my sentiment too. I can't even. And from now on, I'm just gonna read the comments and you can see the names, okay? Because I'm tired of reading both. It's just kind of exhausting. Too much skin to be shown? Yeah, that's the issue. Too much skin. For Mileena, people didn't believe me when I said they were actively toning down the characters. They're like, no, they're just toning it down for some characters. No, that is not the case. Hear me now. Once they changed Scarlet's outfit, I knew that was not the case because her power is to absorb the enemy's blood through her skin, and they still covered her up head to toe. Make no mistake, it was done intentionally. They are nerfing the sexuality for every single female character, and it's not to make their costumes look more realistic or more viable for combat. I've debunked that multiple times. It is being done solely to make them less sexual, and that's it. And look, it's their game, they can do whatever they want, but I'm just saying, can we stop pretending that they're doing this for the players? Because they're not. They're making these changes because they want to, not because the players wanted it. As I continue to scroll through these retweets, everybody is upset that Mileena's not going to get her Deception costume. No one's happy about it. So keeping Mileena's costume out of the next game is not being done for the players, which is a bit odd to me because they are trying to sell you the game. So you would think they'd put everything in the game that you want as long as it's legal, right? As long as the law itself is literally not holding them back, they should put everything in the game that players want. And I'm not talking about some obscure weirdo, okay? I'm sure there's some creeps out there that want really weird stuff in the game. I'm talking about a majority of the players. It is an undeniable fact that a majority of the players want this costume in the game. A majority of people who are ready to fling their money at the screen to buy the next game want this costume to be in there. And certainly most Mileena fans want this costume to be in the game, so there's no reason to exclude it, unless you don't care what your players want. You don't care what the buyers want. You're doing this for you. As the developers, you are choosing to keep out one of their most beloved costumes from the game. That's why it's happening. Not because they want it, but because you want it. Yikes, that got kind of depressing at the end, huh? So to end this video on a positive note, here's an awesome redesign of Melina's costume in MK Deception. I love this artwork so much. So if NetherRealm decides to change its mind and bring back the costume in some way, I think this is the perfect design. It looks so good. It's still sexy, but way less revealing than her Deception costume, and I like all the detail that goes into it too. The new costumes have more detail, so I think this would work perfectly. And now it's your turn. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, because I've spent way too much time talking about a video game character. What are your thoughts on all this? How do you feel about the developers purposely leaving out a fan favorite costume in the next Mortal Kombat game? Do you love it? Do you hate it? And what do you think their reasoning is for doing this? Let me know in the comments down below. And then while you're down there, smash the like button if you enjoyed. It really does help my channel out a ton. Then keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell, that way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.